I got a light in the chair back there for all you folks who like to make fun of the fact that this room is empty. Check it out, a light in the chair. All right, I want you to think about new car tags. You're driving around your city, your neighborhood, your highway, and I want you to think the number of new car tags that you see. And if you're like me, because the other day I was on the road and I was driving, and I noticed I was out all day and I did not see one new car tag, not one. And I came back to YouTube and I've noticed something. There's something, Car Questions Unanswered. Car Questions Answered is a YouTube channel that has grown. And then there was another one, Metro Bros, Metro something, another car channel. And all these guys do, one is a car dealer. And what he does is he goes to the car auction and he talks about the price of cars, price of used cars and the price of new cars. Channel, every time he does a video, it gets 100,000 or more views. And then there's another guy, Flying Wheels. He's also a car dealer and he talks about it a little bit differently. But Car Questions Unanswered and this Metro Bros, Metro something, they seem to get crazy high views. And the guy with Car Questions Answered, he literally just goes to either car auctions or he'll go to dealership lots and he would talk about their inventory and the price of cars. And one of the things I found to be really interesting is the average, there are not that many cars that you can buy for $20-something thousand. The average new car price is about $42,000. And typically there's something really, really strange that's going on. Pickup trucks. Pickup trucks have become amazingly expensive. I'm talking about $100,000, $130,000 for a pickup truck. Yes, $100,000 for a pickup truck. And I began to really, really see the damage that the pandemic created with this marketplace, because here's my estimates. This is what I think happened. Go back to 2019. Housing prices were normal, car prices were normal. We go to 2020. We have this huge pandemic. People have to stay home. And the government flooded the economy with $6 trillion. There was loans. And this is something, I'm probably gonna do a whole video about this, the amount of fraud done with the PPP loan and the EIDL loans. So essentially there was a lot of money pushed into the economy, With the pandemic issues of people not coming to work, this created a dramatic supply chain shortage. The supply chain shortage was epic. They were producing cars that they didn't have all the parts for. So this created a dramatic shortage in available cars. This created a dramatic shortage in a lot of stuff. Back then I was in the car rental business and it created a dramatic shortage for used parts. Used parts were very hard to get. So what this did is there was all this money in the economy, right? And the dealers just dramatically jumped the price of cars, jumped the price of trucks. And some of these cars and trucks had $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 dealer markups, where the dealer was like, well, the manufacturer said the price of this car is 60, but because we're the dealer and we're looking at the market, we're going to say the price of this car is now $110,000. So you had all these people who bought all of these cars And now the price of cars, and this is something I'm really, really glad that I sold the majority of my cars when you can get decent money, because one of the things I would do is I would go to CarMax and Carvana and I would submit my car. Carvana and CarMax, they've got this interesting little quirk. They will send you an update of what your car is now worth. I had a Porsche Cayenne that I sold for about $20,000. Thank God. I got a message from Carvana because they offered me 14. That was the highest they offered me. I got a message from Carvana the other day that now my vehicle's worth $7,000. $7,000. So now that the economy's kind of gone back to normal, we have a lot of inventory. And this is what's funny. There's a United Auto Workers strike. So they're not making cars, but dealership lots are overflowing with vehicles because they're not selling them. They're not selling them. CarMax isn't selling them. Carvana isn't selling them. New car dealers aren't selling them. And once again, as evidenced by me being on the road, because like it kind of became a game. I was like, I started looking for new car tags. I couldn't find any, which tells you that the real economy is getting very, very nasty. The real economy is not playing with folks, because this has created a situation where the average person cannot afford the average car. I want you to really think about that. And, you know, I'm not a pickup guy, so I really don't shop pickups, and I didn't know the price, but $103,000 for a Ford or a Ram or a Chevy pickup, that just kind of boggled my mind. So what are we saying here? What are we talking about? Just like right now, you have a lot of people who are doing these Airbnbs, and this is something that has become quite interesting. The number of people who bought houses and have put these houses on the market at these inflated rates are very much like these car dealers who feel that they're going to be able to sell a $100,000 truck to the average person. If you have a $100,000 loan, your loan payment's going to be around $1,500, $1,600 per month for 60 months. $1,500 to $1,600 plus insurance, plus gas. So you're looking at the cost of ownership of a new truck that is at six figures, it being at $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year. Average pay in the United States of America is around $31,000 to $32,000 a year. So I have no clue to, well, actually I do have a clue. I have more than a clue that the dealers, the people in the Airbnb market, everyone got used to people having money and paying highly inflated prices for their situations, for the things that they were going to do. So one of the things that I am beginning to really see is the vendors, let's go ahead and call the car dealerships, the car manufacturers, the vendors, have this dramatic disconnect with the actual marketplace. Because once again, I did some average income in America, and 80% of the people are in these income ranges, is between $25,000 and $45,000 a year. And I would say 75% of the country is less than $35,000 per year. So knowing the income numbers, the reality, and this is where this disconnect, because, you know, who is going to go out and spend $100,000 for a pickup truck? Who's going to do that? And one of the things that I found, and this is something that really took me way back, years and years ago when I used to be in the storage auction business, I ended up buying a van at an auction, a Ford E250. This was their cargo van. This van cost me $1,800 I believe. And I drove that van for about 6 years. And then this is when I got into business credit. Business credit back then was completely different than business credit today. You can go ahead and get you an LLC, get your Paydex, and then you can go to Ford and get a pickup truck off your business credit if you talk to a fleet manager. So I ended up doing that. That truck cost like $22,000. Brand new pickup truck, F-150. No, F-250. It was like $25,000, I believe. Because I didn't get it fully zooted up. I just got a plain pickup truck. I didn't need anything with the leather seats and all other stuff. I got a plain pickup truck with my business credit. Now, this is, let's see, I want to say 15 years in the future, the price of trucks have quadrupled. People are paying, well, I don't think people are paying. This is what I think. The pricing has become all out of reality with people's real paydays. They've put the price of vehicles and trucks so high that the average person cannot afford them. Because I mean, I'm just sitting here like, one of the reasons that I paid my car down so much is for the Porsche. If I wanted to, my monthly payments would have been $2,550. And I just went ahead and paid it down. I only owe like $20,000 on it now. And essentially, because I've paid so far ahead, I don't have to make a car payment. I can go 3 years and not make a car payment and I'll be perfectly fine. But I'm not going to go 3 years. And when you begin to understand the implications of this, because 2024 is going to be very, very different than 2023 because of these escalated prices. I saw someone who was selling Airbnb courses, and literally I've went ahead on Facebook and I kind of peeped into some Airbnb communities. These folks are not doing well. They're not doing well. A lot of these folks are like really struggling. I remember this one post I was reading, we've not had a booking in 3 months. And you still have people who are trying to sell the concept of buying an Airbnb property and you're going to make all this money. I feel that these folks are disconnected with reality. Just very, very much so disconnected with reality, because I keep looking, because one of the things is I watch these channels, Car Questions Answered. This is a little guy, I think he's in South Carolina. And the number of dealerships that refuse to lower these prices. And there are some dealerships that still have market adjustments, because going back to the pandemic, what I feel happened is everyone got used to all of this money and this easy financing and this cheap money, and luxuries once tasted become necessities. And it's very hard for the people in the Airbnb space. It's really hard for the people in the dealership space to lower prices. It's really, really hard. I saw a house, fully furnished, modern house. They wanted $13,500 rent, monthly rent, which is $150,000 a year. That's on top of your other bills. So you need to be someone that's doing about 450 to even think about getting in that house. And what's going to happen is time and pressure. Time is going to create a lot of pressure for the dealerships. Time and pressure is going to create a lot of pressure for the people in these houses, because the majority of these things are financed. And at some point, they got to start looking at paying that bill. And I was watching this expose here in Atlanta talking about the number of people who are getting evicted. And I was looking at the homeowners, and these guys you could see the stress carved all over their face, because they had a house that they had a renter in that wasn't paying. And because at the time, the Fulton County sheriffs and deputies were backed up 2,600 cases, with more and more cases coming in monthly, which means the backlog is getting worse and worse and worse. These people are feeling real economic pain, because the majority of real estate owners are people who own 1 and maybe 3 houses. They're just regular folks. And you're going to see time and pressure. The longer that these houses remain, empty, or have a renter who's not paying rent, this is just going to create more time and pressure on the people on the back end. And I'm just keep watching to see when there's going to be dramatic price reductions for new cars. Now we're starting to see price reduction for used cars. We're starting to see that. And it's only a matter of time before price reductions for new cars come. Because at the moment, the average person cannot afford the average new car. They simply can't. Because when I start sitting here thinking about car payments, and I haven't had a car payment. Well, actually, I had the Mercedes that I had a car payment, but I went ahead and paid that off. And then this Porsche, my intentions are to pay it off this year. But I didn't really do it like a normal car payment. I didn't just get the car and then start making little payments. I did something called like velocity banking. And one of the things that's going to continue to happen with people, because in the comments, go ahead and say car questions answered. And there's, I think this other guy's Metro, he did a video 8 days ago that's got 1.5 million views talking about the price of trucks. And it's because, like I said, I've done the numbers. I know the numbers. I know that people don't have the money for these vehicles. They just simply don't. And it's when this disconnect, this marketplace disconnect from the dealers to the manufacturers, when it's like, hey, we can't sell this, because I am really interested to see what's going to happen in the future. That you've got a brand new truck sitting on your dealer's lot for 6, 8, or let's say we get to the point where these trucks are sitting on the lot for a year. For a year, because people cannot afford them. And even if you do have good credit, the interest rate on my Porsche was like 5.2%. And I went in there, they pulled my Equifax. My Equifax was sitting at a 795. And I put down a brand new car, close to a brand new car, $100,000 down. And I still got a 5.5. I do believe car loans are like 8, 9% now. And that's if you have good credit. That's if you have money to put down. I would hate to see what kind of interest rate they're going to throw at you if you have bad credit. It could be 20%. I'm just saying, once again, it could be, I don't know. And this is where we got a reality. Now, the car market is very different than the housing market because we have a lot of cars. We have a ton of cars. Housing is a different animal, but I'll be talking about that in a separate video. But one of the things that we have to understand and we have to pay attention to is the reality of the economy. The reality of the economy is car prices are completely out of line with the average person's income. It makes no sense if you look at it from a logical standpoint. But if you look at it from the standpoint that the people got used to this economy that was inflated with this government money, luxuries once tasted make necessities, they become necessities, then it makes sense. But if just looking at it from a straight marketplace dynamic, it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. I was shocked because, like I said, I'm not a truck. I don't drive trucks. I don't drive these big SUVs. So I was completely unaware of the car prices until I looked at this video, and it just kind of blew my mind at this vast disconnect between the vendors and the true marketplace. And in time, it's going to correct itself because it will have to, because they can't keep making trucks they can't sell. They can't keep doing that. And it's just going to get more and more dicey as people are out here trying to buy these vehicles. All right, so I got a little furniture in the back. I don't really know what I'm gonna do here. I have no clue. I may leave it just like it is. I have no clue whatsoever. But I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your jokes. Some of y'all are really, really funny. And yeah, we will see what happens in Glendon's empty house. We will see. We will see.